Well, hello there. So since we won't be having a My Hero Academia chapter this week due to Horikoshi taking a week off, I thought I'd be releasing this video a little earlier, and that is a video on quirks. If you read or watch the series, and maybe even if you don't, you'll know what a quirk is. It's the abilities that a character in My Hero Academia use to be a hero or to be a villain would it choose that path. I want to kind of talk about quirks generally in this video, and there are chances that I might accidentally drop spoilers, but I will try my best to avoid it. No doubt if it ends up having spoilers, I'll probably point it out in the title for those not wanting to have their experience with the series ruined. Okay, now let's begin quirks. The concept of them is very scientific, and that's something that I personally like, being a science nerd and all. What I truly find great about quirks in particular, however, is how Horikoshi make them. Like what powers he chooses to give people, and the fact that you can actually have some control over what your children is going to get as a quirk, even if you can't have full control over it. So let's begin by talking about how quirks are showcased or displayed within the series, because let's be real, some of the quirks out there are really weird or messed up even. And I don't mean they're negatively messed up, because Horikoshi actually makes it work really well by simply taking things that we know really well at the top of our heads and just merge it with a human. Two of the best examples that I can think of right now is Tenya, Ida, and Kyoka Hiro when talking about this, and I think you can probably see where I am going with this. Ida's quirk is officially known as Engine, and for anyone who's ever seen an image of his legs will know what his quirk is all about. He literally has exhaust pipes coming out of his calves. And I don't mean that his calves are simply taking a similar shape to that of exhaust pipes. No, I mean there are actual steel pipes coming out of his legs. This is what I mean when I say that Horikoshi designs quirk brilliantly. He gives the readers or watchers something that they will automatically recognize, like exhaust pipes from a car, because everyone will know what his quirk is going to be about to some extent, even without getting an actual explanation of it. The second example, as I said, is Kyoka Hiro, and her quirk is something that mostly teenagers but even adults can relate to. Her quirk is officially known as earphone jack, I believe, and well, it does what you'd expect kinda, at least you know when seeing her quirk visualization that it's going to be something to do with sound. I mean, that's just a given, so the same really applies as in Ida's case, except in Kyoka's case it's less extreme. Kyoka doesn't really have pieces of metal sticking out of her. Instead, she has these extensions coming out of her earlobes that she can plug into things in order to generate different effects that all have some connection to sound. She can use it to listen in on people through walls, but also amplify her heartbeat and use it as a weapon. Well, and she can of course physically whip people with these extensions if she needs to, but needless to say, that is not their primary use. So yeah, these two examples that I just mentioned do, as I said, really show us how Horikoshi wants to approach the readers or watchers. He wants to give us something that we can relate to. I mean, there are other examples that follow this pattern, but these two are the only ones that I'm going to mention in this video, because if not, this video will be just nothing but a huge list of quirks, and that's not really the purpose of this video. So going back to the very start of this video, I did say that the quirk concept is very scientific, of course, and that's because it's got to do with genetics and evolution. It goes something like that the body eventually evolved to such a point where it got rid of the bones that weren't essential to humans, and instead something filled that void. Now, it's not really that properly explained, to be honest, but what we can assume is that the quirk that you develop is based on parents. We have quite a few cases where parents is a heavy influence on the child's quirk, but not every time, because it also has to do with what generation, as they called it, the parents belong to. I think that is pretty much just their way of, I guess, organizing the level at which the quirk is at, like how strong its base level is at. I could be wrong, I'm not that deeply invested in the topic, but I did some basic research of what I pretty much just said. Well, that and shit that I personally remember from reading or watching the series. But as with all things, no matter who the person, a quirk can always be improved. It really does come down to the person who wields it and how motivated he or she is to become stronger. So I'm about to give a really small spoiler from the manga, but it doesn't really reveal much. A character called Mirio Togata hinted that his quirk was originally really weak, or at least no better than average, and even though he's only like 1 or 2 years older than Izuku and the others, he is really fucking strong. I'm not gonna spoil more than that, because it's really something you gotta experience yourself if you haven't already. The only actual cases where improvement is next to impossible is of course if you're born in the same sort of way that Izuku Midoriya is, which is that he was born without a quirk. He simply didn't have one by the age of 4, which is most likely due to the fact that his parents' quirks weren't strong enough by the time he was conceived. I don't think this has been confirmed, but I'm pretty sure that's how the science behind it works. I'd be really interested to actually know what all of you guys think about quirks in general. Do you think it's a good concept, and what's your ideas about the science behind it other than the basics that we already know? Well, that'll be it for this video. Be sure to leave a comment down below, and as always, if you did, please like this video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you want to see more of my shit. This has been your favorite host Perm, and I'll see you soon.